Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ro. I apologise, I have not been here for some time. So I don't really have an excuse, just to say that I was busy with life. I got a new job and that is why I have been pretty slack with my uploads. Also, I did kind of hit a slump where I just didn't feel like I had any content that I was excited to share with you guys, but I am back on it now. I have all these ideas now and I'm really excited to be back, and I'm going to hopefully be more persistent with my uploads because I don't want to leave you guys hanging again. Also, if you guys are interested, I have a lifestyle channel now. I will link it down in the description below if you're interested to watch that channel. I do a lot of content on there as well. So without further ado, let's get this video started. With this ranking, it is just the ranking that I'm doing for now. This list could change in the coming years. This list could change in a month because, let's be honest, I found it really difficult to rank the final girls. You know what I mean? Movies are different because, I don't know, there's more elements to them, but I guess with final girls, I could be biased because I love the film. So that is why I'm going to say just take this list with a grain of salt. I do think that maybe the top 10 are definitely always going to be my top 10, just maybe interchangeable depending on my mood. This is the list that I have for now. Starting at number 30, I have Max from Final Girls. So I'm not going to go into what each of the films are about, but I'm going to go into the detail as to why I chose these particular females. She actually fights back, and that's what I like about final girls. The ones that are supposed to be final girls are supposed to fight back. They get to a point where they can't run anymore and they just have to face their fears and fight against the evil that is chasing them or after them. Max in this one has a really cool showdown with the bad guy on like a field. They have this really cool showdown where they kind of fight each other, and the reason I chose her is because she's your typical like virgin girl at the beginning, but then when she starts to obviously witness all her friends die, she has had enough and she wants to fight back. I feel like the description I'm gonna give you guys for these girls is gonna be pretty similar because that is what makes a final girl. So I may rush through some of these because otherwise we'll be here forever. At 29, I have Meg from The Blob. This is the 1980s film. I absolutely love this. I only just watched this, I think, last year, and I became obsessed with it. I loved it. At 28, I have Mia from Evil Dead. This one was tough to rank because she's kind of like the antagonist as well. So if you've seen it, you know what I mean. The ending is basically where like her actual spirit and fight comes from. That's kind of what embodies her as a final girl, and that scene is so kick-ass, which is why I really needed to add her in this. That whole scene with the blood rain and the chainsaw, I feel like that's forever going to haunt me. Like, that scene is so scary. Every time I watch it, I'm like on the edge of my seat, even though I know what's coming. But anyway, I'm digressing. She's amazing in the ending of this movie, so I definitely think she deserves a place on this list. At 27, I have Ashley from Better Watch Out. I've only seen this film once, but I really liked her character. I liked her character from the beginning. She was never super soft. She was always wanting to fight and survive, so I think that I just really liked maybe the actress that plays her, because I think that she's just really likable. This film is excellent. That's me digressing again, but this film is so good. At 26, I have Carla from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. She's played by Brandy, who I absolutely love and grew up with listening to her music as well. I really love Carla, and I probably could have put her higher, to be honest. She is our redemption that we get from losing Helen Shivers, because let's be honest, Helen Shivers should have been a final girl. I know it, you know it. Helen Shivers from I Know What You Did Last Summer, she deserved to live. I guess Carla is that for us in the sequel because we didn't get that in the first one. At 25, I have Carly from House of Wax. She is played by Alicia Cuthbert. I actually haven't seen her in any movies as of late, to be honest. I really like House of Wax. I think that it's a great slasher film. At 24, I have Grace from The Hitcher. This is the 2007 Hitcher because I haven't seen the original. I know I have to get on that, but I absolutely love Sophia Bush, and she plays Grace in this film, and again, she's just a survivor, and I really like her performance in this movie. The film itself is okay. I don't think it is a fantastic movie, but I did enjoy it, so it's something that I probably will watch again. But I just remember that she was just the standout in this. I absolutely love her as a final girl. We need her in more horror, I think, because I think she did an excellent job in this film. At 23, I have Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer. I love this film. This would have been higher on the list if it was a film countdown, but because it is a final girls countdown, I am happy with where I placed Julie. I actually like her character, but I don't think she's as strong as someone like Helen Shivers, who I think again should have probably been the final girl instead. I went there. I do like Julie James, but I don't know, she didn't really have a backbone. I feel like she got tougher in the sequel, which is why I kind of wanted her still higher up on the list, because I do think in the sequel she is more of a tough girl. She spends all of I Know What You Did Last Summer just screaming and running away, and really she doesn't defeat the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, her boyfriend has to save the day. So she's on this list where she is because of the sequel more than anything. At 22, I have Tina from Friday the 13th, Part 7. She is the one with the telekinetic powers. I really like this character, and I liked the direction that this film went because it was very different from the other ones. I think it's one of the stronger Friday the 13th films. At 21, I have Rachel from The Ring. I almost forgot what I was going to say. Rachel is played by Naomi Watts. I think that her determination to find the truth no matter what is really admirable, and the fact that she goes into these situations where it gets pretty dark and pretty scary and she's willing to still do it knowing what she's getting herself into makes her an excellent final girl. At number 20, I have Dina from Fear Street. Dina is in the first Fear Street and the last one. The second one has a different character, which I will mention soon. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten her. She is on this list. Dina, although Dina is in more of this trilogy, I still think the other character is just a better final girl. But in saying that, I still think Dina is an excellent final girl. She is strong and tough. She's willing to do anything to get her friends out of this situation that they're in. And she doesn't run away from her problems. She faces everything head on, including things in her personal life. So I think she's a great final girl, and I really can't wait for them to make more Fear Streets. Hopefully a TV series would be amazing. So I don't know, we'll see if they will get that into the works. I would love to see a TV series though that kind of goes off by the books, because this movie, well, this trilogy isn't really based on any of the books. I think loosely based on multiple ones mixed together, but I would really like to see each of the books converted into like a TV series episode. That would be awesome. Again, I'm digressing, but Dina I think is a great final girl. At 19, I have Erin from You're Next. Erin is played by Shani Vinson. I really like Erin in this film. I think that she is a great final girl because she never backs down and she fights back, and I love that about her. And she fights back from the get-go, which is very rare in the final girl kind of trope. She doesn't shy away from trying to get back at the bad guys. I love that for her. At 18, I have Erin from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She's played by Jessica Biel. I've seen this film 2 or 3 times maybe, because it's so scary and uncomfortable for me to watch. It's probably not that scary, it's just very uncomfortable, but I really enjoy this. I love her performance. I love Jessica Biel. I think she is probably the strongest, actually she is the strongest lead in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. I know that people might disagree and say that the original girl is, but to be honest, she spends like literally 20 minutes screaming at the dinner table in the original movie. So She's not on this list, sorry. At 17, I have Nancy from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. At 16, I have Sam from Scream. I like Sam's character, but I also don't think she's a very strong character. I like the fact that she went out of her way to go and find Dewey and try and ask him for help. I just really like the fact that she just doesn't give up and she wants to catch the killer. So that is something that I really like from her character. In regards to fighting back against Ghostface, I don't think she's necessarily the strongest. At 15, I have Maddie from Hush. I love the fact that Maddie is mute, but she is still so tough and strong. She's obviously scared throughout this whole film. She does not want to die, and she's willing to do anything. Even at the point where she could die, she still wants to defeat the bad guy. And I love that. I love the fact that she could bleed out and die, but she still wants to make sure that she takes him down with her. Okay, and at 14 is the other Scream 5 character that I wanted to talk about, and that is Tara. She's the initial victim of the series. She's the one that gets attacked first. And the reason I have Tara before Sam is because I just really love Jenna Ortega. I think that that's what it is. I think that she's a very strong character. I think that she is willing again to survive. I feel like that's just what I say with everybody. What I like about her is that you can tell she's scared, but you can also tell she still wants to face that fear. I also think her character is more fleshed out. I don't know, it could be her performance too, so that could have a factor in this. At 13, I have Maxine from the movie X. This film is fantastic. This came out this year and I really, really enjoyed it. Maxine is played by Mia Goth and everyone's obsessed with her right now. I just love Mia Goth's performance in this, her character in this. She isn't really like a tough girl until she has to be. Obviously, throughout this whole movie, she doesn't know she's in danger until like a specific moment closer to the end. At 12, I have Needy from Jennifer's Body. I love Amanda Seyfried and I absolutely love Megan Fox. If this wasn't a final girls list, Megan Fox would be like number one, probably like villain, female villain in horror. Maybe I should do a female villain in horror countdown. I think that would be really cool. A ranking, if you will. The thing I love about Needy is that you can see her character slowly getting to a point where she's had enough and she doesn't want to live in Jennifer's shadow anymore. Just that final showdown where she's just had enough and she's just sick of this and she wants revenge. I love that scene. At number 11, I have Cecilia from The Invisible Man. Cecilia is a victim of emotional and physical abuse and probably mental abuse as well, and she escapes her husband. Slowly, as she's getting kind of terrorized, she gets to a point where she doesn't want him to win. And I don't want to say anything in case you guys haven't seen this. I don't want to give any spoilers, but like that ending, she's just such a badass. She's so good in this film. So now we're up to the top 10, and at number 10 I have Tree from Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. I really like her. I just think she's really funny. She's very witty. She has no filter, and I just really like the fact that she's kind of just gets so sick and tired of dying, because this is obviously a Groundhog Day situation where she stops caring. What I really love is that she puts herself in these situations not really knowing that she's gonna come back, because she could easily die. But she keeps doing it because she really wants to figure out who is trying to kill her and why. So I just really like her character. At number 9, I have Sarah from The Descent. She has gone through a traumatic experience and she's very fragile and has to kind of get tough to survive this situation. I love the films. I think the performances of everybody in these films is great. I sort of wanted to include Juno from The Descent 2, but I can't remember if she survives or not, to be honest. But she's so cool. Anyways, at number 8, I have Ziggy from the Fear Street 2 film. this is the character I was talking about that I wanted to add higher on the list. Ziggy is played by Sadie Sink, and we all know and love her from Stranger Things. I think that she is just such a great actress. She's very talented, and I honestly love this character, Ziggy. I just think that she's obviously the typical girl who gets bullied, but she's not fragile. She is very tough and strong from the beginning. She's also willing to sacrifice herself for her friends and her family, and she will do anything in her power to do so. So I just really love this character. I just really love Sadie Sink, and I think she should do more horror. At number 7, I have Ginny from Friday the 13th Part 2. What I really liked about Ginny is that she was a fighter. She was a fighter all the way through. I think she's really tough. She's the toughest one of all the Friday the 13th characters, and I just think that she is actually the best of all of them. I'm going to just put it out there. At number 6, I have Sarah Connor from The Terminator. Sarah Connor, I guess, The Terminator 1, she was a bit of a coward, but I guess the Sarah Connor I'm talking about is the one from Judgment Day. I probably should have said that when I introduced her, but in Judgment Day, I think that she's just so freaking tough. Like from the beginning, she's just such a badass. Like from the get-go, she knows that obviously who the Terminator is. She knows that she needs to fight to survive. She knows that she needs to save her son, and she'll do anything that she can to try and finally destroy the Terminator, the T-1000 or whatever. Like, she's just so cool. Okay, so now we're down to the 5, and at number 5, you'll probably be surprised because you probably thought I would put this person higher, but at number 5, I have Laurie from Halloween. Now, this one was tough because I really like Laurie and I really love the series, and she does get tougher throughout the series. Like in Halloween H2O, she's such a badass. I love her in that. She's like, well, I'm going to say like near the end more than the beginning. She's still running away from Michael, and I guess that's probably why I have her not as number 1, but I still have her in my top 5. Because I still think she fights back and she's pretty badass, but she is still pretty afraid of him, I guess, throughout all the movies. So that's probably why I didn't put her higher up. She's iconic. I know she's a scream queen, but took her a while before she decided that she's had enough. At number 4, I have Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. The Ellen that kind of is throughout the series is basically the same as the second movie Ellen, if that makes sense. So she kind of stays tough from that moment. I love the Aliens film. Like, Alien is great and that is a horror movie, but Aliens is an action horror, and I just love her character in this. She wants to save Newt. She knows what she's up against. I think that that's the thing when they've gone through something already from like the first one, kind of like Julie James situation. They know what they're up against in the sequel, so the stakes are higher and they're a lot tougher. Ellen Ripley is just, I think, iconic, and she's always going to be one of the greatest female heroines in film, as well as one of the best women in horror. So 3 and 2, I feel like could be together. I feel like they both deserve to be together. These two women are just a great team. So I'm going to say at number 3 and 2, and no particular order, because to be honest, I just love them both, are Gale Weathers and Sydney Prescott from Scream. The reason I want to put them together is because they have gone through all of the movies together and have survived. I will say character-wise, so not Final Girl-wise, character-wise, I like Gale more. I think that Gale is my favourite character from all of the Screams, but I do think that Sydney is a fantastic Final Girl, so I can't take that away from her. I think they're both great. I guess Final Girl-wise, it probably would be Sydney. That's the best Final Girl because she is the main character of this film, but both her and Gale together are just perfection. And I just love how they both work together in these films and how much closer they get with each other as the films progress as well. So I love the Scream movies. Scream is my favorite horror movie of all time. So you guys knew that I was going to put these somewhere up the top. Surprisingly, not number one. When I get to number one, I think it's going to be a surprise to you guys, but also when I explain why my number one is my number one, you guys will get it. So at number one, I have Grace from Ready or Not. She's played by Samara Weaving, the very talented, very beautiful Samara Weaving, who is from Australia, and I'm very proud of that because she's so good. She's such a great actress and I really love her in horror. The reason I've got Grace first is because Grace literally has to fight against like a family of people. And she is so cool. She's such a badass in this. She's so tough. Like, she goes through so much in this film and she's very smart. And the end is just fantastic. I know that it has nothing to do with her being a final girl, but that ending is so good. And her final dialogue line that she says to her husband is amazing. That's it. I just think she's cool. I just think she's so cool. Anyways, Grace is my number one final girl. That is it for my ranking. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun trying to figure out how I was going to rank all of these. There was a lot on this list. I initially was only going to do like a top 15, but I just felt like there was so many others that I didn't want to leave out. There are some final girls that I like that didn't make the cut, like the girl from Haunt and the girl from Hellfest. I forget their names because I don't watch those movies that often, but I do like those two. I think that they are great final girls. I just don't think that they would really make the cut in my top 30, which is why I did not add them, but I do like them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave comments down below on what your top 5 or top 10 final girls are. Please like and subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out with my YouTube growth, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.